All right, a little bit calmer, a little deep breath here. We talked about Max Scherzer going to the Mets earlier. If you didn't see that, go check out the channel. I'm sure you did, though. I'm happy. I'm happy. But we've got some more moves to talk about. Let's talk about Kevin Gausman signing a 5-year, what was it, $110 million contract with the Toronto Blue Jays. We got Corey Seager joining Marcus Semien and Jon Gray. We'll talk about Jon Gray, too. Going to the Texas Rangers on a 10-year, $325 million contract. I mean, the Rangers have spent $500 million in the last 2 days, in the last, 24 hours. We've got Robbie Ray going out west to the Seattle Mariners, I believe also on a 5-year, $115 million contract. Those are the 4 big ones. Avisail Garcia went to the Marlins. I might be missing a couple minor moves here and there, but I mean, we've got 4 big moves to talk about right now, so let's get going into that. Before I do, it really would help me out, guys, if you do subscribe to the channel, covering all the baseball news, baseball content all off season long, the 12 days of rankings coming up, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out, as well as click that bell icon so you get notified when I upload, and follow me on Twitter and all my social media at GiraffeNickMark. Links in the description. So let's get it started off with the one that you guys are probably most interested in, which is going to be Corey Seager on a 10-year, $325 million contract to the Texas Rangers. Now, last night, I actually did a Spaces, if you didn't see that. I was doing it on Twitter talking. Got a Rangers reporter in there, and he was telling us that Marcus Semien was going to be playing second. He was saying that last night, and there had been rumors that they were interested in Trevor Story, Corey Seager, and, well, as we know today, Corey Seager goes to the Texas Rangers on a massive, massive deal. This makes him one of the highest paid shortstops in all of baseball. 10 years, $325 million. That is quite the hefty price tag for Corey Seager. And just like that, overnight, boom, the Texas Rangers went from having no middle infield to probably the best middle infield on paper in baseball at this exact moment. Corey Seager at shortstop, Marcus Semien at second base, pretty nasty up the middle in terms of offense. He got that sweet left-handed swing of Corey Seager, who's going to be a doubles machine, take it to all fields. He also hits for power playing short, although I think he should be playing second. And then Semien, who's got that power, he's got the extra base hits as well. He's got a really, really nice glove. I think he should be the shortstop over Seager, but it looks like he's going to be playing second base. I talked about Semien earlier in the day. This is actually my 3rd upload of the day, which is crazy, but the offseason does this for me. Big shout out to Jackson, the editor. But Seager looks like he's going to be their shortstop, or at the absolute worst, their second baseman. But at that price range, I'm imagining he's playing short, despite having a worse glove, I think. Do I think he's worth $325 million? I like that the Rangers are being aggressive. I like seeing a team that was a bottom-dwelling team that had a god-awful roster. Go for it. I respect the Rangers for doing it. I don't know if I would be the guy to give Corey Seager $325 million. There's Carlos Correa. There's also Trevor Story, who could probably be paid less to play shortstop and I think would be better. But Corey Seager is a very good player. He's without a doubt a top 10 shortstop in baseball. Some people have him as a top 5, and I think that's fair. I think there's a way to say that Corey Seager is a top 5 shortstop in the league. He was great in Los Angeles the last few years. Of course, there's always that weird injury concern, even though kind of has freak injuries. He's not like a guy like Carlos Correa who gets nicked and bruised. He typically has these major injuries. But to be fair, he only played 95 games last year. That being said, 900 OPS. The year before that, 930 OPS. The year before that, 800 OPS, coming off the Tommy John surgery in 2018 where he only played 26 games. To me, Corey Seager, you're looking at a guy who's going to hit you about 20, 25 home runs a year, driving close to 100 RBIs, especially when he's probably going to be in the middle of the order for this Texas Rangers team. He's going to get you 30, 40 doubles a season, and OPS in that 850 to 900 range. His defense at shortstop will be suspect. He by no means is a stellar shortstop defensively. Probably about average at best, I would say. Maybe even slightly above average. Of course, you always worry about that arm after having Tommy John stuff. Not something that you typically see from a fielder, but he has had that done. But really, he's come back and shown no signs of being less of a player than we once thought he was. $32.5 million a year is a lot, but he is 28 years old. So the more I'm talking about it, the more I don't really mind it. Yes, you probably could have had Trevor Story at less, but maybe they know a little bit more than we do. Maybe they went after Corey Seager because Trevor Story was asking for something astronomical. Maybe he wants a shorter term deal at higher AAV so that he can get that big contract next year after he plays well outside of Coors. I'm not sure. I really thought it was going to be Trevor Story, but Corey Seager is headed to Texas to play shortstop for the Rangers. That team, again, still has a lot of issues. Specifically, that lineup is still weak. Semien, Seager, they got Cole Calhoun as well, I think, now on that lineup, and you have Adolis Garcia. Those are 4 really good players. There is a lack of depth, though, on that roster. Great minor league, great farm system, a lot of depth, still yet to be seen, though. In terms of pitching, they grabbed Jon Gray on a 4-year, $56 million contract, which it's one of the best contracts of the offseason, I think. You're getting him in Texas, which he went from Coors, which is a complete hitter's park, so hard to be effective there, to Texas that just has this massive outfield. It's a really hard place for hitters to play. His numbers are going to go through the roof. Jon Gray is going to have, I believe, a breakout season next year. You're going to see this guy have some super, super awesome games for the Rangers. And that 4 for 56, that is so cheap. That's $14 million a year for Jon Gray. I love that move by the Rangers. To me, Corey Seager is the bigger name, and he's probably going to end up having a bigger impact. But my favorite favorite move that they might have made this offseason is going to be the John Gray signing. He was one of my 10 most underrated free agents on the market this year. They need pitching badly. I mean, they do have Dane Dunning, they have Cole Winn, they have some nice young arms, but a guy like John Gray is going to be super undervalued and someone you look back at and go, wow, I can't believe we missed on John Gray. It's going to be a really nice pickup for them. Seager, Simeon, John Gray, Cole Calhoun, fantastic job by the Texas Rangers, and I don't think they're done yet. I think you're going to see a lot of little role players, some pieces there. Maybe Chris Taylor, maybe Carlos Rodon, maybe they go crazy and spend $1 billion this offseason. I don't see it, but everything that they've said has come true. They said they're going to get big names. They said they're going to spend. They got two of the biggest names on the market in Seager and Simeon, and they got a really nice pitcher in John Gray. Well done by the Texas Rangers. I'm excited to go watch them play in Texas next year. They've definitely got a much better team than we saw in the past. AL West is going to be tough, and that leads me to the next guy here, Robbie Ray. Boy, oh boy, the AL West is going to be tough because the Mariners were a team that won 90 games last year out of nowhere, and they just improved and might be getting more because maybe Chris Bryant's on the way. But they grabbed Robbie Ray on a 5-year deal, opt out after 3. I think that's a really good contract for both sides. Robbie Ray, of course, won the Cy Young in the American League, had a fantastic season in Toronto. He fixed all the issues. He's always been an incredibly high strikeout guy. I believe he has the highest K per 9 in Major League history, which is a funny sentence to say when you think about all the great pitchers, but Robbie Ray has always had no problem striking out guys. It's always been control and effectiveness. And last year in Toronto, they were able to tweak him and fix him, and Robbie Ray was extremely effective. 2 years ago, he made the switch to a shorter arm path. He kind of like short arms a little bit. It's a little bit like Lucas Giolito does. He no longer goes like down and around. It's more direct right back, and it has finally paid off in how he's pitching. You're getting the production out of him that you've seen or that you hope to have seen, that you got a little glimpse of in Arizona, and he's going to a way better pitcher's park as well, going from Dunedin / Buffalo / Toronto to Seattle. That's a much better move for Robbie Ray. He also then gets to pitch in Oakland, gets to pitch in Texas. I really like this move by the Seattle Mariners. I'm so happy for you Mariners fans because you guys are getting really close, and you have that incredible young farm system with guys like Julio Rodriguez, Noel V. Marte. You've got the pitchers with Williamson, George Kirby, Emerson Hancock. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but their farm system's loaded. You got Kelnick, who's still there. You got Taylor Trammell, who I'm a big fan of. JP Crawford took big steps forward last year. Kyle Lewis, Mitch Haniger. This team has the potential to be really, really good. You get a guy like Chris Bryant, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to be so happy for you Mariners fans. Mariners and Mets, we're somewhat similar. You have some of our players. I feel like we can relate to each other. Teams that haven't had the success, and we're going out, we're getting some big names. I'm happy for the Mariners fans. They've always treated me great. I'm rooting for you guys. Go win the AL West. Go do it. Let's go Mariners. Great pickup of Robbie Ray. I love this move a lot. He's going to be fantastic. Cy Young, got him for like $20 million a year. Can't really beat that. Then the other deal, let's talk about the Toronto Blue Jays. I know everybody's talking about them missing out on Robbie Ray and Marcus Semien, but they are going to be okay because Kevin Gausman on the deal that they got him for is going to possibly be one of the better steals of the offseason. I know I've been saying this a lot, but Kevin Gausman, you guys remember last year, was pitching like a Cy Young candidate for about half the season and then petered out a little bit, but he's still very, very good. That splitter is devastating. His fastball, I mean, gets into the upper 90s. He's got really, really good stuff. And I know before going into the season, I didn't necessarily believe that this stuff was going to stick. But after a full 2021 season where he was very, very effective with the San Francisco Giants, going up against some of the best offensive teams like the Dodgers and the Padres, I know he got to face the Rockies and Diamondbacks, so that's not great, but those are hitters' parks. I was really impressed by Kevin Gausman. So yes, you didn't bring back Robbie Ray, but Gausman, there's a world where he's better. 100% could be a better pitcher. Yes, you didn't bring back Marcus Semien, but I don't think that that's going to be the downfall of this Blue Jays team. They are still losing pieces, 100%, but a guy like Gausman is a good replacement for Robbie Ray. He might end up being better, and they still have a great young farm system. Plus, you got Vlad Jr., who's an MVP candidate. You got Bo Bichette, who's going to be one of the best shortstops in baseball at some point. Hey, Oscar Hernandez is a beast. A healthy George Springer for a full year almost should kind of replace that Marcus Semien bat that you're now going to miss because Springer just didn't play that much this year. Gurriel is a nice player. I still like Lourdes Gurriel. I mean, Santiago Espinal played well last year, and then they've got that young farm system that I love too, with guys on their way up. You might see Jordan Groshans come on up at some point this year. Kevin Smith came up, showed a little bit. You still have Jose Barrios. You have Hyun-Jin Ryu, Nate Pearson, Alek Manoah. Like, this team's in a really, really good spot. I love Orelvis Martinez. That dude is a stud. Gabriel Moreno at the catcher spot is a stud. This team's really good. This team's really good. They have great organizational depth. They can still go make some moves if you want to grab a third baseman. I don't know, maybe Matt Chapman, maybe trade for Ketel Marte. There's a lot of moves that this Toronto Blue Jays team can still make, but I do think that Kevin Gausman is a fantastic pickup for them. That team is going to be very, very strong, just like they were last year. 100% a playoff contender. This team is scary. Anytime you got Vlad Guerrero on a team that can just mash like that around other guys that can also mash, it's scary, and their pitching is getting very, very good. They're figuring something out north of the border, and I know Jackson, the editor, he's going to agree too. I'm sure he's feeling a little bit better now that Kevin Gausman signed. And then we got a few more minor moves, I guess, to talk about. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything major. I mean, stuff is just breaking every minute because, of course, as you guys know, we're approaching the CBA deadline, and you can't do any moves once that hits. Got Avisail Garcia going to the Marlins on like a 4-year deal. I love that pickup for the Marlins. He was one of my 10 most underrated free agents this year, which a lot of those guys are getting picked up right now. Good job, MLB executives listening to Draft Nick Mark. But I love Avisail Garcia. Hits the ball really hard, plays good defense, very good athlete. While he doesn't walk as much as you'd like, in fact, he kind of doesn't walk at all, and he does chase a little bit. He does those things that like elite athletes do that make him a really exciting player, and he's someone that the Marlins can now use as a veteran piece to build around with a lot of their young guys coming up through their system. They have a lot of prospects that they can maybe trade to get some guys on the trade market, to get some more pieces, to be more like solidified. I really like this move by the Marlins. Kim Ung, I really still don't know how to pronounce it. Can someone tell me in the comment section below, please? Pretty sure it's Kim Ung. She's awesome. She's doing a great job over there, and they also might be trading for Jacob Stallings, who would be a great defensive catcher to bring there as well. Love the moves that the Marlins are making them a lot scarier in that National League East, although I'm on cloud 9 for my New York Mets right now with Max Scherzer and Starling Marte and Eduardo Escobar and Mark Canha. Okay, did I miss anything else? Is there or are there any more moves? That's proper English. Are there any more moves? Not is there. Nope, that appears to be it. Still waiting for some of the biggest names to be connected to teams. Does Carlos Correa sign? Does Javi Baez sign? Freddie Freeman still hasn't re-signed with the Braves. That's crazy. Stroman, Kershaw, Castellanos, Conforto. So much talent available still left on the market. I'd love to know what you guys think about all the moves I discussed in today's video down in the comment section below. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media at Draft Nick Mark. Links in description. That's where I'm wrapping up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.